Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm Kevin and today we're back to our first World War topic. So our topic today is about carving a new frontier between Germany and British troops. So after the last debate, we already know that the Schlieffen Plan has broke down. So with the German army in retreat after the battles of the Marne, the ambitious Schlieffen Plan was in tatters, desperate to turn the situation back to the advantage. The leader of the German Kaiser Wilhelm appoints General Erich von Falkenhayn as overall commander, in place of General von Moltke. But von Moltke had one final order for his army, that fortify and defend their positions above the river Aisne. This simple instruction would change the whole course of the war, and maybe would get them some chance to win. So the German armies had their retreat at the Kemmendales Ridge. They turned this 40 kilometers long wedge of high ground into a fortress, protected by a network of trenches, barbed wire, and machine gun posts. When the British and French attacked the ridge, they still being stopped and have to suffer the attack from the German. And of course, caught without shelter from the German guns, the Allies start digging their own defensive trenches and try to hold back the place so that they could keep the fight going. Amazingly, they would still be living in this crumbling earthwork 4 years later, fighting over much the same shell-carried battlefields. So after all, in this part we know that the Germany and British had hold their place for 4 years. And on the offensive side, frustrated by the hold-up at the Kemmendales Bridge, the Allies changed the way. They think that the country to the north of it lay open. So if the French could flank, or we could say that could rush to the side that the country lay open, which means that the German army cannot cover. So they could take an advantage to cut the supplies of the German army, and so that they could take a victory for their commander. Both sides start to crumble to the north, because at the same time Germany also knows the French plans and know that they have a very quick point that they need to cover. So in order to do that, they both sides start to scramble to the north in what become known as the race to the sea. They fought battles and dug trenches along the way they go, making their protest and trying to let their ally know that we're going through this place, and if you want to go to get us supplies, you need to go to through our trenches. And of course the fight began, and it took a long time for both sides so that they could go for the end to the North Sea. And of course everything was very difficult, but amazingly it's not having any winner. Why is that? Because at the end, the frustrated draw is the result of the hard and deadly race between two sides, the Allies and the Germans. But the race ended in the frustrating draws is not the bad result, because as the opposing armies arrived at the dark waters of the North Sea, before either could win any advantage on each other or try to make any plans so that they could counter on each other's, the Falkenhayn's generals found that they have a quick point in the British held territory. That means they could rush to the point and broke the territory of the British army so that they could broke their team. And after they broke the team, they could get advantage, but not by the geography. They use this by plans and use this by force. So they forced into the quick point in the British held territory at the Belgian town of Brest. There in late October, they launched a desperate attack, and finally going through the territory of British, start to attacking them from inside. So the Battle of Ypres was a bloody and disastrous introduction to trench fighting for all concerned. The British were outnumbered, outgunned, and ill-prepared, but they still somehow managed to hold the ground. the German infantry suffered terrible casualties and losing the whole battalion. Yeah, the battalion. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. Yep, how to say it. So they lose battalions of young recruits as they charge across open field to the death, which means, yep, they finally try and manage to create some advantage for their own armies. But because they cannot win and cannot take the fight to the result at the same time, as fast as possible, so the British army recovered, and that means they turned the Germany into a siege. And when the siege happened, it's very hard for an army to get through, and that's why the Germany troops get uncountable casualties, and that's also where they fail on trying to attacking the weak point of the British. So the fighting finally sputtered out. Sputtered out at the end of November, when heavy rains turned the dirt into mud, and ammunition supplies ran low. Still, in Allies' hands, Ypres would be the setting for years of bitter fighting and another two major battles. And already, by the time from the October and to November, there are already at least 50,000 German troops and 24,000 British lay dead in Flanders field. So the fast-paced fighting of the previous months now ground to a standstill, trains stretched out from the Camden Dam Bridge in the Czech car. They become the scar that everybody knows about the race, about the deadly race, and about how the German and British try to dig trenches and try to go to the North Sea to take advantage on each other. And after all, they still not get any advantage. And Germany somehow taking uncountable and very bad casualties. So that is the result when the Frankenhans the Frankenhans commander try to go to the North Seas, try to taking advantage, and they choose to attack to the weak point of the British held territory, but going too deep and making a siege. So they fail another time. But of course, for you guys here, we could still see that they didn't lost, yes. And also there is another war we call the Second World War, but of course that is not for this topic, and let's just keep talking on this topic. Okay, so trenches straight out from the Camden Dam Bridge in a jagged scar across northern Europe. This border between armies from the German armies and the British armies was known as the Western Front. So it's naked around 765 kilometers, over 475 miles, from the Belgian coast to the mountains of Switzerland. So millions of men guard the dirt fortification, with the industrial might of Europe's nation gearing up behind them. That means, of course, the fight from the North Seas and the trenches is now just a scar for both sides of the armies. But of course, with the Europe's development in industrials and new weapons being invented out, there is more and more plans in the future for you guys, for us, and for the history to keep going, to keep the plan going, to keep the different plan, to make out different way to attack, and also different disaster and destructive weapons for the citizens, for the armies, and for both countries. So the war from German and French with British is just start. Okay, so that's all I want to say with you guys today. Thank you for listening, and yep, I think I'll see you guys in my next video. And even though this video is not so long and is very short, because I just going to take out information and not going to going around, hanging around, or trying to telling more stories. So yeah, it's becoming a little bit so short. But I think that's better. I think that's enough information. Is good for both of us. So yep, that's all I want to say with you guys today. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And now it's time for us to say goodbye then. See ya.